I'm making this video because it seems like some people are skeptical of me. Honestly, I wouldn't believe myself a lot of the things I say if I hadn't been through so much. Um, Normally, I used to keep things to myself and then watch it happen in front of my eyes and be like, whoa, and just not understand it. And then as I got older, I started to understand. Um, I have to start reading because I'm going to get off topic. So, a lot of people are skeptical about what I have to say, which is expected because not only does the Bible say that we will be scrutinized and persecuted, but it also says that you will have to be careful of false doctrine, which I understand that, and I have to watch out for that. We all do. But I've been like obsessed with the Bible since I started studying, and I've been really deep into getting the meanings out of Revelation. And I'm not one of those people who try to read too much into it. I'm the type of person who I recognize patterns or see comparisons easily, and a lot of people will be like, "Oh, well, anybody can do that," but I notice things really quickly. For some reason, it's like a gift that God's given me, and I feel like it was for this purpose to help people. Um, this is why I'm making this video. I think you should know my background with everything pertaining to these days. I have always asked myself, wondering why I was able to predict things. I don't try to predict things. I'm not predicting things on purpose. Um, the predictions really somehow kind of like they shock me. Like something, either I'll see a flash or almost like a vision. I get flashbacks, so maybe that is because of that. But anyway, I'll get a flash of something, and then it will really happen, or I'll close my eyes and I'll see something, even though it's black. Normally, it usually is when you close your eyes, it's darkness, but I'll see something. He'll be showing me something. Whatever it is that he's showing me, I'm usually like, what is that? Okay, so I'll give you an example. When the other day, after I've been doing all this research and stuff, I saw, when I closed my eyes, I saw a turtle, and it was walking along. It turned into a frog, and the frog had on, I wrote down, a scarf and some kind of clothes or something. It actually had, okay, I went to a restaurant like the next day or whatever, and I was sitting, as soon as I sat down at the table, I looked up behind my husband. There's a shelf, and there was a turtle, and there was a frog in clothes, and in the middle was a lamb. And I was like, wow, that was amazing. That's just one thing out of the hundreds of confirmations I've been getting since I've been asking the Lord, are you the one talking to me? Are you the one telling me? I pray constantly. You don't even know. I had insomnia, and I cured my insomnia by saying Our Father over and over and over again until I fell asleep. Now I fall asleep every night really quickly because that's all I do is pray and pray and pray. My mind, he puts my mind at ease. He takes my cares away. But anyway, um, I wanted to tell you about the things where I've been making predictions, but I didn't know because I never know something is an actual prediction until it happens. Then I see it and I'm like amazed, but it's too late. What I do know is how I felt all the other times. I think led up to today, which I'm saying. Each time that something happened and I, saw it first and then noticed it after really happening, you get to know that feeling, like that feeling you get when you're right, like the feeling you get when the right source is telling you. Um, I can't explain it any other way. I love Jesus so much, and I thank God that He's cleaned away my sins, and I try to live as sinless of a life as I can. Um, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you the few things I could remember to write down that's happened to me where I predicted things, because I can't really remember everything. I take, like, my medications, they make me, I have short-term memory issues, whatever. So that's why I had to write everything down. That's probably why I can't remember anything. I remember things like unintentionally. Anyway, so we'll start with the first thing that ever happened to me. When I was a little girl, I was, I don't know, 5, 6, I don't know, young enough to be in brownies, which is before Girl Scouts. And I had this dream over and over and over again for maybe a year or two. I don't know. I don't know how often I had it, but I know I had it tons of times where I went to the Boston Science Museum, and I went up, and they have these things. It's like levels. Like there's like poles and levels holding it all up, and you can climb up to the second floor. But in my dream, I started climbing. I'd never been there. I started climbing up these things, and I fell off and I broke my leg. And that happened in my dream every single time I had the dream. And then when I was old enough to be in Girl Scouts or brownies, I don't remember what I was in, but we went to sleep over there at the Science Museum, which I'd never been at, so I didn't know what it looked like until I got in there. And it was the exact same as my dream, but I didn't remember the dream while it was there for some reason. And I started climbing up those things because everybody ran towards those things to do that right away. So I went to climb up it, but on the one in my dream where I had broke my leg, something in my head went, be very, 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 very careful. And I was. And then I finished climbing up, and we finished our trip, it was like a field trip or whatever. And when we were about to leave, we were walking out the gift shop doors to leave and get on the bus. And all of a sudden, flash, I was like, oh, that was my dream. But it was too late. And I tried to tell people, and my hair was standing up and everything. And everybody was like, so? I guess it wasn't that amazing to them because it didn't happen to them. But anyway, that was the first thing that happened to me. And I think the reason why he did these things, reason why he showed me these things before I even knew Jesus, before I even read the Bible, is because, well, first of all, I grew up in my house. My grandmother was Catholic, so that wasn't my fault. Okay, so by the time I finally found and read the Bible, I had already had all these dreams. I think he was doing that because right now I wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't believe what he's telling me, But anyway, so that was the first thing that happened. And the second thing I can remember is when I was riding in the car with my cousins, and my little cousin Abe was in the front passenger seat of the van. And we were riding along, and for some reason, I thought in my head, not even thought, sorry. What was I talking about? I was my cousin. I had a flash. Like I wasn't thinking about it. It just all of a sudden, I saw it. Like my cousin's hand was in the window as they were trying to roll it up, and literally like 5 minutes later, I heard them go or something like that, and I was like, what? And he had his hand in the window, and they were trying to roll it up. I was like, whoa. I didn't tell anybody either because I was like, no one's going to believe me, and it's so small of a thing. But I think it was just like, why is it still sticking in my head to this day, even though I can't remember anything? There's got to be a reason for that. Also, I had 3 different friends who passed away, and something spoke through me to warn them that they were going to die. Like, one of them I did say that, but okay, first of all, there was a friend of mine, Danny, that was my sister and my sister's ex-boyfriend's friend, whatever. It's all confusing, but he was at a friend of mine's house, Danny was, and I was talking to someone on the phone that was at that same house. And when Danny went to leave to go to the store to get beer, and I was on the phone with that person, I was like, no, don't let him go. And I had no reason to be like that because I was young. I had no reason to care. Like, I didn't really know him that well. So anyway, something spoke to me. Don't freak out. Don't let him go. Stop him in the driveway. Stop him in the driveway. Oh, he's already gone, is what he said when the guy I was on the phone with. Well, that turned out that he flipped his car that night and he died. Okay. Then I had a best friend. Her name was Crystal. And we had best friend history, whatever, you know. I went to her house one day, and she had a new boyfriend I'd never met, and they had a new baby. I hadn't seen her in a little while. And when I met her boyfriend, he took his AK out of the room, brought it out, and was like showing it off and stuff. And I was like, something inside me said there's something not right with him. And we went outside, and I guess he could have heard us because he made me leave after this, even though I was supposed to sleep over. I was outside with her, and I'm like, there's something wrong with him. You need to leave. You need to get away from him. There's something wrong with him. I don't know what it is, but there's something wrong with him. You know, I'd seen guns before. I don't know. Something just spoke through me. 2 months later, he shot and killed her. My best friend. And something told me that I was supposed to be there to help her get away from him, but I had moved to Florida. Okay, so the third friend of mine that something happened to, she was staying at my house, and she'd been staying there for not that long, but I noticed how badly she was drinking. Bad. Like, she was just drinking straight alcohol all day, every day. And, you know, I never, I mean, I know you can kill yourself with alcohol, but something spoke through me that time. I said, Amanda's going to kill herself with alcohol. I said it multiple times. Now, I wouldn't say that because it just sounds awful, but something made me say it. And a couple months later, she did. She died, and she drank so much alcohol that it burnt through her esophagus, and she drowned in her own blood. And my sister told me that if she had stopped drinking around the time that I told them, she could have maybe made it. But after that, it was too late because it just eaten away her esophagus so much. But that was 3 dramatic things that I know happened, and there's no way I could have said those things or known what was going to happen. You know, it was just, he uses us in ways, God uses us in ways that he needs us to, even if we don't know what it is. Then I lived in West Palm Beach a few years ago, around 2010 or 11. And before that, I had started having dreams. Now, I have dreams. Every time I move, before I move there, I'll have a dream of that place. Then when I get there, when I go to sleep at night, I go to this dreamland, and I'll be living a life, like working a job or something, but it's like in that dream, we don't get money or anything. We do it because that's what everyone does as a job. Anyway, it was almost like, felt like a spirit world or something, but I don't want to name it or anything because I have no idea. It was in my dreams. But every time I move, I'll go, like every night I'll go to sleep and I'll be in the same place, but I'll be living this life. And then I wake up and I'll be so tired because I felt like I was living 2 lives. So I prayed for those dreams to go away because I was waking up so tired, and they went away, but now I can't remember my dreams. And now he'll give me like impressions. I'll have a dream, and then when I go to wake up, instead of remembering the entire dream, I'll have an impression. Like the dream I spoke about in one of my other videos where I said, I dreamt of the bridegroom. I had a dream, and when I woke up, all I remembered was him showing me the bride made of little people, because I had seen an example. But in my dream, part of the arm was missing because he was still in the process of saving people. So that was the impression I got when I woke up. Just that one, him showing me, and I knew what it meant. That's how I know what his visions mean sometimes, but sometimes I have to wait to see what they mean. and I'll come across it. Like, he kept showing me an elephant, and then the other day, I saw in the sky, I saw a cloud that looked just like an elephant. Dude, I've been seeing so much stuff in the sky since he's been telling me these things. I looked, and tried to show my husband the other day when I was driving. It's so hard for me to look when I'm driving. There was a perfect looking, it looked like an angel blowing a horn, right? But the feet were kind of messed up. So I kept driving a little bit, went behind the trees, and then got a little further, and I looked up, and the feet were perfect, pointed little feet, and my hair's starting to stand up a little right now as I'm talking about it, because I know he showed it to me. As I was driving, my eyeball hurt. He uses pressure in my head, like, it's almost like a pressure in my head is yes. Well, while I'm driving, all of a sudden my eye feels like it's going to pop out of my head, and I look over and I see that perfect angel blowing a horn, and then it still hurt a little bit. I look back, oh, that was beautiful, the perfect little pointed little feet, like it was just floating there. Anyway, so after that, the next thing that happened to me was a few years ago when I lived in West Palm Beach. I had a dream of a tsunami. I was on Palm Beach Island beach, and I saw the wave coming at me, and I started running across the street to the tall building, and somehow I made it to the building and all the way to the roof, and it didn't hit me. And then I remember looking back at it, and I was like, oh, well, I'm not going to be here anyway. And then I think that was the end of the dream, or that's all I remember. But I had another dream another night. I just remembered now. Some part of that dream, I don't know if it's the next night or that same night, we didn't have much food, and we had to stay in that building for a little while. I don't know. It wasn't too long, but it was like some amount of time. Anyway, so I had another dream like a few nights later or the next night or something that I was at my sister-in-law's house, and across the street from her house was an L-shaped building. There's 2 stories. Okay, so in my dream, I'm swimming back from the store. The water's up to the 2nd story, and somehow she lives in the 2nd story, and that house across the way. And I'm swimming back from the store somehow, and I make it there, and I get up in there, to bring the stuff home from the store. But I didn't know what that meant. And around the same time, I had a rapture dream, but I didn't really know the Bible. I didn't even know what the rapture was about. I woke up after that dream, and I was like, I think I just had a rapture dream. I was freaked out. I was like, I don't know anything about the rapture. And, I realized after recently that was around the same time that I started saying I wanted to read the Bible. So it was like he was calling me, but it took me a long time to wake up. Yeah, slap me or something. Anyway, so I had those dreams, and I forgot about the rapture dream. But I remembered the tsunami dream and the part where it was flooded bad, and I remembered it so vividly that when I went back to West Palm Beach, I was deathly afraid of the ocean. Like, every time I looked at it, I got dizzy. And I forgot about the rapture dream. And then all of a sudden the other day, when all this was going on, I was figuring stuff out. I was, going back and forth from what people were seeing, going back in the scripture, seeing, all these prophecies that are being fulfilled. And, something hit me one day, and I was like, oh, well, it seems like maybe I should do something like they're doing. Make a video and tell people what I've seen. And I remembered right around that time about the rapture dream, because I have a little camera sitting pointing outside, and I could see the side yard. And in my dream, that's what I saw. I saw the side yard in the house, and I was just going up. That's all I remember, is that little part. I was going up, looking down. But I remember waking up and saying, oh, and last night I remembered when I was just about to fall asleep, I remembered in my dream, I was like, in that rapture dream, I had 3 dogs, but we only have 2 dogs. I remember saying that right after I woke up, and one of them was tan. And guess what? Right now, I'm in the house that I dreamt about with 3 dogs. One of them's tan now. My other same 2 dogs, and I got a tan one that I had no idea I was going to get. I didn't even want another dog, really, but she melted my heart. She's such a beauty. She's just such a cute little puppy. Her little curly little tail. Anyway, So that's all those things that's happened to me. And when I really started getting into the Bible, the Lord called me. You know, the Lord Jesus, the song "Jesus He Loves Me." I woke up one day and there was no radio or TV on. That song was playing in my ears as loud as can be. Jesus He Loves Me. You know, it was right after around the time where I said, Lord, my heart is hardened and I need you to soften it, because I was just so angry with everything, because I've been through a lot, you know. So I just wanted you to know I wouldn't be saying the things I'm saying or anything unless I had reason to believe that he's been giving me signs to watch out for other signs my whole life. So anyway, God bless you. If you don't want to believe me, I don't even believe me, honestly. You know, I just say what I feel I need to, and if when it comes to pass, then I know that it's true. So anyway, God bless you, and thanks for watching.